Hello and welcome back to your Colby Eagles pregame show. I'm Connor Shue here on 100.3 The Ride, and here we've got Coach Ryan Mosier of your Colby Eagles. Coach, we're coming off win number 1. How are you feeling today?
You know, I'm feeling good. I'm excited for the boys. They've put a lot of work in, and to just get that first win underneath you helps a lot, and so I'm excited for them.
And I think there were strong points you could look at on every facet of the game. And first, we'll talk about the offense. Maxon Smiley had another 4 touchdowns. How awesome is that to see a guy who's only in his sophomore year to just come back after a good week 1 performance and deliver almost the exact same thing?
Yeah, you know, he stayed pretty calm and collected throughout the game. You know, we talked about we did have really good offensive production, but we were really excited about our really long drive to start the game. We haven't done that here in a few years, and so we were really excited to see that. But Smiley's playing well. We're running routes well. We're blocking well. So everybody's doing a good job.
And he threw 4 touchdown passes, 1 to a different receiver, each to a different receiver. How important is that for a quarterback to spread the rock out?
You know, it's important for the quarterback and receivers. The way we play offense, that's ideal. You know, you want to see that. You want it spread out to as many people that can score as possible. So he's doing a really good job of that.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, it seemed like the defensive line was consistently in Holyoke's backfield. How good was it to see that?
Yeah, our D-line just ate them up front, and so we were really excited for them. We covered well on the back end. Few got by us, but that's part of the game. You know, but we continued to show up. Offensively, we put them in a situation. We put the defense in a situation at the end of the game where they had to go out and get stops more times than they should have, and they answered the call there.
And just one more thing on the defense. We talked after the week 1 game that I think the big thing was discipline, and there were very few penalties, if any, on that defensive line. And how good was that to see for you, how disciplined they played?
Yeah, it cleaned up, and that's the guys we're dealing with. You know, if you ask them to get something done, they're going to go fix it. And so I'm really happy for them, and hopefully we can continue to build on that.
And team-wide, the guys got to be feeling good after that game, right?
Yeah, I think there's definitely some confidence out there. You know, but we also understand that each week, especially with our schedule, you got to be ready to go. And so, you know, I would say confidence is there, but we're still focused in.
And in this week of practice leading up to Cimarron, how do you feel like your guys have prepared?
We prepared really well. I was really excited. Wednesday, we went through a little period of we just couldn't do anything right. And so we caught a little bit of adversity. I was really excited to see that because we need to see that before Friday. And so they responded well for practice today, got locked in, and got ready to go.
And when you have a tough practice like that, how do you kind of rein the guys back in?
You know, we tried to huddle them together at the end just to see if they could figure it out. We tried some breathing stuff. We tried about everything. You know, you don't really know what's going to fix it until you get into those situations. And so, you know, getting into that situation helped us, and now we have some notes for the future on that.
And then Cimarron, they're 0-2 coming into this weekend. They've really struggled. But what have you seen in terms of film for them?
You know, the biggest thing on Cimarron that we all have to understand is they played Holcomb and Scott City. And those are 2 of the powerhouses in the GWAC. You know, so there's 2 different ways that can go, right? They can be beat up coming into week 3, or they can be pretty upset. And so we've got to be ready to roll.
And when you're playing a team that's faced 2 upper echelon opponents like that, is it a little harder to get a beat on them sometimes?
It is, definitely. When you're watching film, you don't know if it's undisciplined play or if you know, if the other team's just better. And so it's really tough to tell, but we'll be able to figure it out pretty quick.
And it's your first road game of the season. What challenges does that first road game present?
You know, the traveling games that we have are usually quite a ways away, and you know, Cimarron's about 2 hours away, 2 hours and 15, something like that. And so, you know, it's one of our shorter travel games. You know what I mean? Other than Scott City or Goodland. So, you know, we're excited about that, but you know, I really like getting out of school a little bit early, getting on the bus, and just having time to hang out together and then lock in before we get there.
I'm sure the guys like getting out of school early too, right?
Yeah, I think they do. We'll see.
And then Cimarron as a whole, just What do you feel is the confidence level of your guys coming into this one?
I think we're confident. Cimarron's got some talented guys that we're going to have to be able to handle, but we've answered the call every time, and so I hope this week we can get that done too.
Coach, any final thoughts?
Nope, I don't have any final thoughts.
All right. Well, hey, good luck tonight, Coach, and go Eagles. We'll be right back on the pregame show here on 100.3 The Ride.